Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, it appears that the Arknights Enfield developers have decided to, after 11 days of radio silence, actually start addressing the PayPal issue, the PayPal situation, the one that basically doomed the launch of the game. And as we see from like revenue results and rankings, this is the most highly advertised game in like the history of a game before, and is one of like the lowest performers for a new release. So kind of has not been working out for Enfield, and news like this is coming out at a pretty appropriate time. And so if you want like some context for what actually occurred during this PayPal issue, I've got literally live footage of what the reaction was across the space to the active robbery streamers across the globe were experiencing when this issue occurred. Here we have Fobmaster, and as you can see, this is the most replayed part of the video.
Hell, bro. A bunch of motherfuckers just got... Wait, what the fuck is this? Mina una bolsa de or... What the fuck?
He got hacked!
That's another 23 bucks!
So as you can see, he's getting the names. I'm assuming he's getting the names of some random people that are doing transactions for him. Hey, they're just siphoning money out of his PayPal as we speak.
Are robbing me.
And they all get to see his name. All of the Japanese and Spanish people that are literally robbing him. Just siphoning money out of his PayPal as we speak.
Are robbing me.
Because the Japanese and Spanish were literally robbing him. That was the reaction from a guy who was currently sponsored by Enfield. Enfield creators, #ad, had 4.4k viewers on release of the game. This was seen by a massive number of people and obviously spread across the community like literal wildfire, because I immediately dropped a video on it when it occurred. And you can see that one has a lot of views. This is something that Hypergriff tried sweeping under the rug for the largest period of time, refusing to address it, and most importantly, giving no official compensation for it at all. Because you want to know what the reality of the game is right now, guys? You still actually can't pay with PayPal in the game. Let me just show you what it looks like when you try to pay with PayPal right now. Literally, PayPal's the only platform they have. PayPal method under maintenance. Please switch to another That's what it looked like yesterday. You still can't use PayPal as a platform in this game, and there will still be hyper-grifting shills telling you you shouldn't get compensation. How? When you have eliminated one of your 4 payment platforms. Guys, you eliminated 25% of your payment platforms because of your error, and you just press the off button. You press the off button instead of fixing it. That's what they do at McDonald's for the ice cream machine. That was how they fixed it. But don't worry, guys. They've got information. They got details. They got the post-mortem report on what went wrong over here and how it's going to be fixed. Let's hear this one out, right? Surely Enfield isn't trying to dodge responsibility again. Surely Hypergriff and these developers, they're not going to lie again. Surely these devs aren't going to do... Oh, sorry, whoopsies. I'm already spoiling a little bit. Surely these devs, right, aren't going to repeat what they've already been officially caught doing, right? Botting reviews like this and deleting reviews in CN to increase their scores. Surely the company that does all of that, all of those shady things, right, drops down to 2.6s in some regions, then bots it back up. Surely they're going to tell the truth regarding this incident, right? Let's see. Arknights Enfield developers have identified the cause of the recent unauthorized PayPal payment issue. That's what they're going to call Fobmaster's quote of the Japanese and Spanish are robbing me. That's an unauthorized PayPal payment issue. No mention here about the personal information leaked. No mention here about the... this also leaks your address too and your zip code, by the way. If you guys didn't know that, it leaks your address and your zip code too. When PayPal orders are done. That's something that occurs. Full refunds were issued the same day, and affected players kept all purchase items and no accounts were compromised. So basically, they didn't even go ahead to try to look into what the problem was. They just did a blank slate refund, attempting to fix the issue. No apology, no recognition, and PayPal is still disabled. So think about it this way, guys. They're saying only $80,000 in unintended charges were made. That's a little bit of an interesting take, and apparently there's some more specific details regarding this dollar amount. Because we got this quick summary of the Enfield PayPal issue based off an interview report. And so this is just a bit more of like a summary of those numbers, right? The same numbers that we see over here, 3429. Let's see some more details about them. Affected orders, 3.4K, under 80K USD for total money involved. Affected users, fewer than 1,800. And the highest abnormal single charge, apparently, ladies and gentlemen, was only $5,000. The highest abnormal charge was only 5.2K. Then why is it that there's a post on the Enfield subreddit from 11 days ago, ladies and gentlemen, that shows a transaction of 15K euros? Why is there still a post up in the Enfield subreddit from 11 days ago showing a 15K euro transaction? I will get my refund eventually. I posted this as a meme. Please don't take it too seriously. Well, all this does is make me think that this was actually a real transaction, and Hypergriff forgot to delete this. Because why wouldn't Hypergriff just lie again when they've been caught lying so much over the release of this game? This is the same company that disguised the PayPal issue. They called it an inconvenience. Let me get the direct quote from Hypergriff themselves on their first address of... So I can show you firsthand what wording they use. These are the first two addresses that they made for the PayPal situation in the past, guys. The very first one. Earlier today, we identified an issue with our payment system that affected a small number of purchases. There was an inconsistency between the order and item delivery. The issue only impacted a limited set of orders. All refunds are expected to be completed within 4 hours. If you do not receive your refund as expected, please contact us. We sincerely apologize for this inconvenience. Guys, these are literally the worst addresses that I think I've ever seen a company make. And that was the second one. Guys, that was the second one that they made after they got lambasted for this one. This was the first notice that they gave out when they figured out people were getting scammed for 15K. Dear administrator, we have received reports that the PayPal payment channel is currently undergoing temporary maintenance and upgrades. All affected administrators are advised to use other available payment channels. Guys, have you ever seen a slimier dev team before? Have you ever seen a dev team that's so willing to dodge accountability and avoid the actual consequences of their issues? This is the same dev team, guys, that after this PayPal payment issue, you want to know what they started doing? They put up a job listing for legal in global because I guess they didn't have that before because they didn't think they needed it. And guess what we see in this exact article over here? A legal expert interviewed in the report said, basically, this was so bad, people accused Hypergriff of money laundering, of having up to 200 million in compensation somewhere else, and that the game was like coming with like malware and like programs that would like harm your computer's hardware if you dare to uninstall it. Those are all rumors that I don't even know where they came from. I don't think I've mentioned them a single time on my channel, but that's the type of stuff that this entire conversation has led to. And guys, they still are like basically refusing to actually address this. To this day, they're still refusing to. Like, you're gonna notice, is any news about this on the official Arknights Enfield page? Let's just look. Do you see anything about PayPal, blah, 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 any of that? Nope, they just spam the same fucking contest that they've had. Oh my, they just keep spamming it over and over. So there's nothing here, nothing in game, nothing anywhere. And so I guess you gotta use fucking Pirate Nation and the subreddit that's only upvoted 399 times to get any news at all in this situation. This is what I call a lack of accountability. This is what I call sliminess. And this is what I call some of the worst developer relations, PR, like player talks I've ever seen. And what I hope for this is that the devs literally get on their hands and knees. They actually probably need to get on their hands and knees for a live stream and like literally apologize to the entire player base for their conduct here and their refusal to actually address it properly. I hope that this game literally actually just starts losing a massive amount of money. Players just stop spending overall because these devs need to be humbled even further. They need to recognize that their actions simply are not acceptable in the modern day and era. They're trying to bring gacha back to the dark ages. but we're too modern for that. And all of their archaic things like no pity carryover, the dog shit rate of pulls, making all your dupes worth less for 5-star units compared to other games, they're trying to send us backwards, treat players horrifyingly worse than other companies, and tell you it's okay because their community is toxic positive. There are still people blaming PayPal for this. There are CCs blaming PayPal for this and saying it's a PayPal problem. Have you ever seen a game dropped by PayPal before? This is the only game I've ever seen dropped by PayPal in my life. The only game I've ever seen dropped by PayPal. Usually the games are the ones dropping the payment provider. This is the first time I've seen the payment provider drop the game. And there still be people telling you Hypergriff is not doing anything wrong. But they're out here openly lying in this report. Or this person's lying from this subreddit and should be sued for defamation, right? Either this person's lying, they used AI or whatever to spread a false narrative here, or Hypergriff is horrifyingly misportraying their information. And one thing that my chat said, guys, was that what if they're only counting the transactions that were made in USD? What if they decided to selectively only count transactions in USD and ignore all the transactions in euros? And that's how they put out this report. That's the level of just fuckery that wouldn't even surprise me from these developers. Yeah, I imagine they only counted the USD transactions and didn't count these. I wouldn't be surprised at all, because how the fuck do you explain this 15K not being mentioned anywhere? Yeah, how do you mention this how do you rationalize this 15K not being accounted for anywhere, motherfucker? How does that even happen? It doesn't, unless somebody's lying. And the question is, who's lying? Is it the company that's on the record lying like 20 plus times in 10 days of service, or this guy who has no reason to lie? The company that has every reason to lie, or the guy that has no reason to... What reason does he have to lie about this? Hypergriff wants you to reject reality. Hypergriff, to believe them, to be on their side, you have to reject common sense, or be paid to do it. And that's not what I'm doing over here. This company literally deserves absolutely no goodwill from its player base for how they have conducted the release of this game. And I plan on covering every single instance of company misconduct from these guys over here so that players recognize that real change needs to occur if they ever plan on actually getting a normal level of treatment from these devs. But for now, I think it's cooked. For now, I don't really care, right, about where this game goes, because I'm just going to be honest, guys. They have a lot of work that they need to do, and they're not even trying to start any of it. There's so much work that needs to be done on this game, but they're focusing more on advertising. You're probably going to see 30 fucking Enfield ads on this video if you haven't already. They're focusing more on advertising, on sponsorships, on partnerships with people that don't even play the game to make it seem like people like it. And now they're lying about how much money they scammed from people because they need people to think that the game is like good and safe. But the damage is done, and I just hope that the community doesn't let these guys get away with everything, because they kind of are right now. Let me know what you all thought. Peace out.